Hey guys, welcome back to Mighty Morphin DJ. I'm DJ, and today I want to take a moment to recap all of the Lightning Collection roleplay items that we have gotten since 2019 in anticipation of what we can expect to see in 2023. Let's take a look. Alright, so I'm not necessarily going to do this in any kind of particular order. I'm just going to kind of do it in order of, when they were first released versus when I finally got my hands on it. And the first one that I'm going to bring up is the Lightning Collection Red Ranger helmet. Now, this was one of the first Lightning Collection pieces to get released, and I was super excited for it when I saw it, but I didn't actually get it until actually a couple of weeks ago, so expect this video to be released soon. But it's a great looking piece, it looks really good, it looks exactly how you would want it to look, and it does fit fairly well, it's not bad. Of all the helmets, this is one of the ones that fit the best, but it's still, too high on the chin. But overall, it is a great looking helmet. I'm glad that I've gotten it. And again, this was one of the first pieces that came out. But overall, it's still a great looking piece that will work for cosplay in a pinch, and it looks fantastic on display. Alright, the next piece is the White Ranger helmet from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, and it does look really good on display. There are some paint defects, and you can see them when you really look at it, but if you're not looking that close, looks fantastic, and it will work for cosplay in a pinch. But again, not low enough on the chin, so it doesn't fit as well as we would like it to. But as far as roleplay helmets go, this was a good looking piece, and it's something that I would have killed to have when I was a kid. Alright, the next piece is the Lightning Collection Dragon Dagger. Now, I really like this piece. It's a lot of fun, but a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people rail on it because it doesn't look as good as the Legacy Dragon Dagger. And they're right, it doesn't. The Legacy Dragon Dagger was made from 24 karat gold, die-cast metal. This is just made from cheap plastic. That's all there is to it. It's made from cheap plastic. But the lights and sounds on this are so much better than the Legacy Dragon Dagger. It just makes this so much more fun. You can play it like a legit flute, and you can play whatever theme song you can think of that you can learn to play on here. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. Not to mention that the blade lights up green on both sides, which this is the only piece of Lightning Collection that will light up on both sides. Everything else is only one side. So I really like this a lot. It's a lot of fun, and I think it was a great release by Hasbro. Alright, the next piece was the Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Power Morpher, and this was not a bad looking piece. It looked like you would expect it to look. It was very show accurate and very toy accurate from the 1993 toy line. But again, people panned it because it didn't look as good as the Legacy one, which was made from die-cast. And, they were right. That did look way better. But this one does a few things that that one didn't do. So first of all, when you open it, depending on which coin you have inserted, will light up that color. So if you use the Black Ranger coin, you get black lights. If you use the Red Ranger coin, you get red lights. That was really cool. Now the coins, I don't think look as good as the Legacy coins. These are a very bright, very shiny gold. They are die-cast, and they are good quality. I do like them, but I just like the weathered look of the original Legacy coins better. I just think they look better, they're easier to look at. But this was still a good release by Hasbro. I do like it, I'm glad that I have it, and it's something that I like to display. And that's another thing about the Lightning Collection, is the majority of Lightning Collection pieces come with display stands. Now, people pan those because they just look like cheap plastic, but so what? The Legacy Collection didn't give us stands at all, except for their helmets, and they only released 2 helmets. Everything else, we just had to figure out a way to make it work, or keep it in the box. The fact that these come with display stands, every piece of the Lightning Collection comes with a display stand. I appreciate that a lot, and I think everybody else should too. Alright, next up is the Lightning Collection Pink Power Morpher. Now, when this first came out, I was adamantly against it. I was not going to get this because I thought, what's the point? It's just the same thing that we had already gotten, but it's pink. But I found out that there's actually some differences. First of all, it has a lot more sounds. It comes with the same 5 coins, and it lights up differently depending on which coin you put in it. But the thing that really makes this stand out is the fact that it came with Pogs. And I don't know why, but that just makes me happy. I like Pogs. I didn't even collect Pogs when I was a kid, but the fact that I have a Pog for this, I have 4 Pogs for this, I don't know why that's cool. I like it. So that was cool. and it came with a lot more sounds and voiceovers than the other one did. Now, it was not actually Amy Jo Johnson or Kathleen Sutherland doing the voiceover for the Morpher, which I would have appreciated had they done that. It's just another voice actress sounding as close to Kimberly as she can, but it has a lot of different sounds on this. Some of them are kind of redundant, and a lot of people may not like it, but I think this is a good piece if you want to cosplay as the Pink Ranger and you want to be as pink as possible. Alright, well, since we're talking about pink, we can't forget about the Lightning Collection pink helmet, which this was the very first pink helmet to have ever been released by a major company like Hasbro or Bandai, and it looks really, really good. It looks fantastic on display. Again, it's too small for my big head, so it doesn't fit well enough here, but it's still a good-looking piece on display, and it will work for cosplay in a pinch. There are some paint defects, just like all the other pieces. That's kind of par for the course. You can see there's a little bit of a it's not lined up quite correctly there. You can see that. But again, if you're not looking for those things and you just want something that just looks good on display, this is it. You know, this is it. And I'm happy to have it. Hey guys, before we get into the rest of the video, I have a question for you. Do you like my content? Do you want to see more of it? Are you just a fan of the Power Rangers in general? If you said yes to any of these, then I have a small request. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell to receive notifications of future videos. And now, on with the video. Alright, next up is probably my favorite piece in the Lightning Collection, and that is the Lightning Collection Red Power Sword. I love this thing when I got it, and I still do. It's just a really cool piece. It has the original theme. It has it has motion sound. So you go whoosh, whoosh, kind of like an FX lightsaber, which I really like. It's motion activated, so it lights up. The whole blade lights up, and you do that by doing this, and that lights it up. So you don't have to flip a button or flick a switch. You do this, just like Jason would do in the show when he's getting ready to throw it at somebody, which is super cool. So you can do that, and I did this at con constantly, and everybody was like, oh, that's cool, you know? So it's a really fun piece. I like it a lot, and in a lot of ways, I like it better than the Legacy Collection sword. The Legacy Collection sword does look better on a glance, but upon closer inspection, this is just better. Even though it's not as long, the sword is solid, whereas the Legacy sword is hollow plastic. There's more detail on the sword here, which I really like. I think that looks better than it did on the Legacy sword. Now, the Legacy sword had the weathered, had the weathered coin here, which I prefer, but this doesn't look bad. And then these, you know, these looked better on the Legacy sword too. These could have been a darker green here, but overall, I cannot complain about this. It's a good looking piece, and it's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. Alright, still on the topic of roleplay weapons is the Blue Ranger Power Lance, and this thing was really cool. I like it a lot. First of all, the lights are on the edge, so you don't have to choose one side or the other to light it up, which I think looks really good. They're a nice neon blue. The batteries are underneath the coins here, which makes for a pretty easy way to get to it, and it makes a lot of sense. This is the largest item that we've gotten from the Lightning Collection so far, so you can split it into two different pieces, just like you could when they would go to form the Power Blaster, but you can put it together just like that. So now you've got a full lance, and of course it is extendable, so now you've got a nice long piece. This is a really cool thing. It has a lot of motion sounds. It has impact detection. It's just a really cool piece altogether, and I'm super glad to have it. It's the very first release of the Blue Ranger Power Lance we've gotten since the original release of the 93 toys, when they sold you all of them in one box and you put them together, and it was tiny, you know, it was itty bitty. So I love this thing a lot, and I'm glad to have it. Alright, now we can't move on from the Blue Ranger until we've talked about the Blue Ranger helmet, which again looks really, really good on display. Does not fit as well as you would like it to, just like the rest of the helmets in the line, but it still looks fantastic. It's something that makes you smile when you look at it on your shelf, and it will work for cosplay in a pinch. Again, like the rest of the helmets in the line, there are some paint defects if you look really close, but if you're not trying to be that picky, if you just want something that looks good on display or that you can throw on your head when you're at con, just real quick, because for the most part, you're going to carry it around like this. You're not going to have it on your head the entire time. This looks good, and it'll work. So the next piece I'm going to mention is the Lord Zedd helmet, and it just looks awesome. It's covered in, it's plastic, chrome paint, but it still looks really, really good. And the way they did the batteries and the fact that this is detachable and all that, and you got the button underneath here that does the voice changer, I really like this piece. It just looks cool, and it'll work for cosplay very, very well if you've got the right outfit. And if nothing else, it just looks fantastic on display. Lord Zedd was always my favorite villain of Power Rangers. In all 30 seasons, he's my favorite villain, and I don't think they'll ever top him. Alright, the next item in our list, and this is the only one that comes from a comic exclusive character, Lord Draken's helmet. And this thing looks really, really good. Again, just like all the other helmets in the line, it does not fit your head very well if you have a larger head like I do, and there are a few paint defects. But it looks fantastic on display, and it gives you the option to cosplay as Lord Draken if you really want to do that, and a lot of people do, without having to spend a fortune on an aftermarket helmet from eBay or Etsy or something like that. I mean, this is just a cool looking piece. I really do like it. I was very happy to have it, and it does have a voice changer, but it sounds nothing like Jason David Frank, so don't be disappointed when you hear how you sound. But it's still pretty cool, and it's a piece that if you're a fan of Power Rangers, a fan of Tommy, a fan of the comics, you should definitely try to get it. Alright, the next piece in the line is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Yellow Power Morpher, and just like the Pink Morpher, it has a lot more sounds and voiceovers than the original Lightning Collection Morpher. Some of them you might like, some of them you might find unnecessary, but it's still cool that it has it nonetheless. It does come with all 5 coins, just like the other 2 Morphers do, and every time you put in a different coin, you get a different color, which is cool, and just like the Pink Ranger Morpher, it comes with Pogs, which is really cool. And again, like I said, I love me some Pogs. So I thought that was really, really cool. So you could put these on the display stand in place of the coins. That way, it's a yellow Morpher, so you've got, the Yellow Ranger Pog on display with it. I think that makes sense. That's how I display mine. It looks really cool. So if you are a big fan of the Yellow Ranger and you want to cosplay as the Yellow Ranger and you want to be as yellow as possible, I would definitely go for this. Alright, now we're at the last item in our list, and that is the Lightning Collection Yellow Power Daggers. I love these things. They are super cool. They're a lot of fun to play with. They have a lot of cool sounds. They have a really good lighting. Again, they don't light up on both sides like the Power Sword doesn't, but it's still pretty cool that they light up at all. And then these combine in the middle, just like the Power Lance does, which is pretty cool. So this gives you about a 32-inch long toy end to end. And what's super cool about these is you can connect them to the opposite side of the Power Lance if you want to. One guy on YouTube called it the Power Spear, and I thought that was hilarious, so that's what I'm going to call it. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. You should check him out. But overall, I was very, very happy with these. I thought they looked really good. They don't feel as bulky in hand as I thought they were going to. They are still smaller than the Lightning Collection Dragon Dagger, which is appropriate. That's what they should have been. Overall, these have me excited for the last 2 items that need to be released in the Lightning Collection to complete the Power Blaster, the Power Bow, and the Power Axe. We'll see what happens next. Alright guys, well that's it. All of the Lightning Collection roleplay items that we have received since the debut of the Lightning Collection in 2019. Of course, I did not include action figures on this list because that would be way too long of a list. It's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down, and I'm more of a roleplay item guy anyway. I don't really do a whole lot in the way of action figures, but I will do a few here and there. I will have links to each and every one of these items in the description below, so you can go through and check out each of these items as I reviewed them individually. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything, if there's a piece that you're particularly fond of, and let me know if you want to see me do a video on pieces that I hope to come in the future. What roleplay items do you want to see come to the collection? Me, I'm just looking forward to the Power Axe, and then once we're done with Mighty Morphin, I'd really like the Gold Zeo Ranger helmet. I'd like for them to start there with Zeo. I think that'd be awesome. But while we are waiting for another piece of the Lightning Collection to be released, why don't you check out this video right here and tell me what you think about that. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been Mighty Morphin DJ. I'm DJ, and you know what time it is.